to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Teyana Taylor just experienced a late-night shock that's left everyone talking and possibly changed the course of her already fractured relationship with Iman Shumpert. According to multiple eyewitness accounts and online reports, Iman was caught sneaking into Teyana's house unannounced in the middle of the night. What followed wasn't just a simple misunderstanding. It was a full-blown confrontation so loud that neighbors down the street reportedly heard every word. The shouting match was filled with accusations, fury, and the kind of raw emotion you only get when trust is broken beyond repair. People are now wondering, was Iman just trying to see his daughter? Or was there something much deeper and shadier going on behind his unexpected visit? The way Teyana reacted, screaming at the top of her lungs and demanding answers, suggests this was no innocent drop-by. If anything, this explosive night might be the breaking point for a relationship that's already hanging on by a thread. So what exactly went down that night? According to insider reports, Iman Shumpert showed up to Teyana's home around midnight, but not in a respectful or announced way. He didn't call ahead, didn't knock on the front door, and certainly didn't wait for an invitation. Instead, he allegedly used a side entrance he still had access to from when they were together. That detail alone raises serious questions about boundaries and control. Teyana, clearly not expecting him, was reportedly stunned to see him standing inside her house. Eyewitnesses say she instantly erupted, yelling, "You don't live here anymore," as she confronted him. Some neighbors even claimed the argument got so heated it echoed through the entire block. While there's no confirmed report about whether their daughter was present, the situation escalated to a boiling point almost immediately. Though police weren't called, it's said that security cameras caught the entire incident, so there may be visual evidence backing all this up. One thing is clear. Teyana felt completely disrespected, invaded, and blindsided by the man she once trusted most. But the question still remains, why did Iman do this? Some people believe he was simply trying to see his daughter without going through the proper channels. Others speculate he wanted to speak to Teyana directly, maybe to apologize, clear the air, or even reignite something. However, there's also a far more suspicious theory circulating that Iman suspected Teyana was seeing someone else and came over to confirm his suspicions. If that's true, his decision to sneak in rather than communicate like a co-parent suggests a dangerous mix of jealousy and entitlement. Teyana has been very clear since their separation. There are boundaries now, and she expects them to be respected. If Iman was truly concerned about seeing his daughter, he could have gone through official custody arrangements or at the very least picked up the phone. But sneaking in, silent and unannounced, screams of deeper intentions. And none of them seem innocent. Teyana's reaction to this entire ordeal was anything but calm, and honestly, who could blame her? This wasn't just a regular argument. This was a woman pushed beyond her limit, dealing with someone who refuses to let go of control. According to sources close to her, the confrontation lasted several minutes, and Teyana's voice could be heard shouting for nearly 5 minutes straight. "I'm not your wife anymore. You don't get to walk in like that," she reportedly screamed at Iman. The tone wasn't just angry. It was heartbroken, tired, and fiercely protective of her space and peace. She made it clear that what he did wasn't just wrong, it was unforgivable. And this isn't just about that one night. This incident represents a pattern Teyana is no longer willing to tolerate. She's tried to stay graceful, to co-parent peacefully, and to move forward quietly, but now the gloves are off. She's not hiding her frustration anymore. Naturally, social media lit up the moment the story broke. Twitter and Instagram were flooded with hot takes, memes, and emotional reactions. One user tweeted, "Teyana deserves peace. Iman out here acting crazy like he's still in the marriage." Another joked, "He must have thought he was in a Lifetime movie with this sneaking around stuff." While there were a handful of people defending Iman, saying he probably just missed his daughter or didn't mean harm, most fans were firmly on Teyana's side. The general consensus is that no matter what the reason, entering someone's home without permission is never okay, especially after a breakup. The situation triggered a larger conversation about boundaries, control, and how breakups don't always mean emotional separation. Even fans who were once rooting for the couple are now saying that enough is enough. Teyana deserves better, and this move by Iman was way out of line. And here's the twist. This might not even be the first time something like this has happened. Insiders suggest that Iman has shown up uninvited before, but until now, Teyana tried to keep those incidents under wraps to avoid more public scrutiny. This time, however, the situation was too extreme to ignore. With the noise, the public setting, and possible security footage, there was no hiding it. Teyana has reportedly started taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen again, changing the locks, upgrading her security system, and even consulting legal experts about how to protect herself and her daughter more effectively. If Iman continues crossing boundaries, this situation could quickly escalate into a legal matter. What was once a strained co-parenting dynamic might turn into a full-blown courtroom battle. Teyana is done playing nice, and this incident might have just been the breaking point she needed to take serious action. Meanwhile, Iman has remained noticeably quiet, and his silence is beginning to speak louder than any statement he could have made. In the age of social media, where a simple Instagram story or tweet can become headline news within minutes, his refusal to publicly address the recent confrontation has only fueled more speculation. He hasn't posted anything online, hasn't given any interviews, and hasn't been spotted engaging with the press or fans. The only known sighting was reportedly of him leaving the scene of the incident with his hoodie pulled up, face partially obscured, clearly trying not to attract attention. That single image has now become symbolic of avoidance, of tension, and of something unresolved. People close to the situation are offering conflicting narratives. Some sources say that Iman regrets the way he handled things and never intended for the situation to escalate. They describe him as emotional, perhaps caught off guard, and acting more from frustration than aggression. According to this view, he may have made a mistake, but it wasn't rooted in malicious intent. Others, however, tell a different story, one in which Iman feels completely justified in his actions. To him, walking into the house wasn't an act of disrespect or confrontation, but a right. A right, he allegedly believes, that comes from being a father who wants access to his child. These sources suggest that, in his eyes, no boundary or change in relationship status should interfere with his role as a dad. But in the court of public opinion, Iman's silence isn't helping his case. When celebrities choose to stay quiet during moments of controversy, it often creates more questions than answers. Is he avoiding accountability? Is he planning a bigger response? Or is he simply waiting for things to blow over? For fans and onlookers, this ambiguity is frustrating. They're watching closely, waiting for him to say something, a public apology, a clarification, or even a vague post that acknowledges the situation. But the longer he waits, the more people begin to assume the worst. And unless he finds a way to address things with sincerity and transparency, his reputation could take a lasting hit. On the other side of things, Teyana isn't staying silent. Not in tone, if not in literal words. While she hasn't launched a media campaign or detailed the events blow by blow, her energy and actions are making her position clear. She's not backing down. If anything, this incident seems to have sharpened her resolve. Though understandably shaken by what occurred, those close to her say she's using the emotional aftermath as fuel, not just for her career, but for her personal life, her parenting, and her peace of mind. This confrontation has reportedly made her reevaluate just how much freedom and access Iman should be allowed moving forward. For too long, according to insiders, Teyana gave Iman the benefit of the doubt. She tried to keep things amicable for the sake of their daughter. She tried to be generous with access, hopeful that they could maintain a respectful co-parenting relationship. But this incident appears to have been a breaking point. Now she's setting boundaries, firm, clear ones. And if Iman can't respect them, she's prepared to pursue legal protection to enforce them. That could include anything from modified custody agreements to, if things continue to escalate, filing for a restraining order. What's become apparent is that this is no longer just about a breakup or a messy post-relationship dynamic. It's about safety, stability, and respect, especially for the child caught in the middle. Teyana seems more determined than ever to protect that space. This isn't about revenge or holding a grudge. It's about reclaiming control over her environment. Friends close to her say she's reached a point where she's no longer interested in giving second chances if it means sacrificing her mental health or emotional well-being. She's focused on healing and anything that threatens that progress, no matter how familiar or once loved, is being removed from her life. There's also a sense that this may be the final nail in the coffin of any potential reconciliation. While some fans have quietly hoped that Teyana and Iman might one day work things out, this situation seems to have made that future nearly impossible. You can't build a bridge when trust is repeatedly tested, and you certainly can't co-parent peacefully if boundaries are treated like suggestions rather than necessities. If Iman doesn't find a way to acknowledge what happened, take responsibility, and respect the space Teyana is creating, then whatever hope remained for a peaceful resolution may dissolve for good. This chapter of their story is clearly a turning point. For Iman, the next move is critical, whether he continues to stay silent or chooses to speak. For Teyana, the path ahead is clear. Protect her daughter, protect her peace, and keep moving forward. The public may still have questions. The headlines may continue to spin. But behind it all is a woman who has decided that peace isn't negotiable, and a man who, unless he handles things carefully, could find himself shut out of the story. Altogether, Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's story just took a dramatic and troubling turn. What started as a split has now evolved into late-night visits, screaming matches, and blurred lines of trust and safety. Iman may have thought he was doing the right thing, or maybe he thought he could still walk into her life whenever he felt like it. But this isn't a movie, this is real life, and Teyana has made it clear. She's done playing the role of the patient X. With cameras rolling and the internet watching, we can only guess what will happen next. Will Iman explain his actions, or continue to stay silent? Will Teyana take this all the way to court? Or will this be the wake-up call he needed to finally respect her boundaries? Let us know in the comments. Was Iman completely out of line, or just misunderstood in a desperate moment? Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the next twist in this emotional celebrity roller coaster.